Alright, so over here I'm gonna tab into the edit mode and let's hide the trousers for now. And okay, let's go to the front view and I'm gonna select these faces. Gonna select these faces right here. Okay, let's check in all view. Let's go to let's turn on the X-ray mode. Grab these areas. Okay, let's make sure we have all the faces selected. I think we do. Okay, I'm gonna tap into the edit mode again, the X-ray mode, and then now I am, let me see right here, I think we could push this a little bit more. We can see the shape here. Let's try to match the curvature of the body a little bit more. Let's drag this up like so, something like this. Okay, so let's continue and just select these faces here. Just select the areas where you see the shirts should be, and I'll grab these areas here, grab this. Let's check from all views, make sure you have all the faces selected. Okay, let's check that again, make sure the faces are selected. Okay, I think we do have them all selected. So now I am just going to look around one more time. As you can see, we missed this area, so then I'm going to one more thing before that. I'm going to get rid of this edge loop here for the chest, because we are now making okay, let's just go back, sorry about that. We're going to remove it after we've extruded the body for the shirt. So let's go in and then press Shift D, right click to release the duplicate, and then press P to separate the shirts. Okay, and we missed this area of the shirt, but that's not a problem. We could work on that. Then I could grab these edges. Okay, I'm gonna extrude it down like so, and I'm gonna drag this out. So all we need to do now is to make changes to the body for the shirt, and I'm gonna grab these edges here. I'm gonna press the delete key and dissolve edges. Okay, so now we just need to push these things to the front. we could rotate this a little bit towards this direction by pressing the arrow key and rotate. Okay, now add more loop over here to help us even much more. Then I'm gonna grab this and take it up, and maybe we could add, right? So probably might need a couple loop by the side, but let's just test this out and see how it looks. So I'm gonna add a subdivision modifier, and I'm gonna add 2 levels of subdivision. I'm gonna shade this smooth. Okay, it's still looking too soft, so what we could do, I can just come over here, add an edge loop here, add another edge loop here. You can see how the shape starts to come out. Okay, now for the edge here, I'm going to add an edge loop here. Okay, and maybe just scale them out. Just let me deselect this area here, scale it in the X, make sure the top area here is not selected. I'm going to scale it in the X, to flatten the tie a little bit more, like so. And I can add an edge loop here to get this area a little bit more tight. And I'm looking at this, I think we could even add additional loop and start to thicken this tie up a little bit more. And over here looks like we have too many edge loops over here, which now causing issues. So I'm just going to go to edge mode. I'm going to get rid of some of these edge loops that we do not need. So I'm going to press the delete key, and I'm going to dissolve these edges. I'm going to do same over here, dissolve edges, and we could easily just join this vertex together. Select them, press the M key, match at center, and we don't need this unnecessary loop here, so we could get rid of this edge right here. So I'm going to dissolve vertex, or rather I'm going to select this loop here. I'm going to dissolve the edges. I'm going to do same for this area here. Dissolve the edges. Starts to get a little bit cleaner. Alright, let's look from the front, and looks like our tie is a little bit more larger than our reference image. So now it's time to go into the vertex mode and start to align this more properly. Let's push this in. Let's select this, push it in. All of this area here. Select this area entirely, push it in. Select this area, push it in, making sure we follow the reference. Push this in, push this in, push this in. so that we match this reference as best as we possibly can. Of course, you could use proportional editing, so you don't have to do this individually the way I'm doing it. So that's entirely up to you. So I could scale this in like this, scale this area in like this, scale this area in as well, so start to get that nice shape. Okay, then this area here is quite too thick, so maybe we could match this place at center. Match this at center. Let's see how it looks now. Okay. Okay, not bad. Could select this entire area here and see if we could scale it in the y-axis, just to thin this area out a little bit more. Or maybe we could increase selection by pressing Ctrl plus, and see if we could press the S key and the Y key and thin this area a little bit more. Then I could get rid of this edge here, dissolve vertex, dissolve edge, sorry, right click, dissolve edge. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Alright, I think that's okay. So now I'm gonna bring in another primitive. I'm gonna press Shift A, and then I'm gonna bring in a cube this time. I'm gonna scale it very tiny. I'm gonna go to the front view, scale it again. I'm gonna grab it up here, tap into the X-ray mode by pressing Alt G, and then I'm going to scale this in. I'm going to bring it up about here. This will be the knots of the tie. Tap into the edit mode, and then I'm going to scale. I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to scale it in like so. I'm going to drag this up about this area here, and I'm going to scale this out like this, something like this. Okay, we're gonna go to the side view. We're gonna need to move this towards the front, and then we're gonna need to rotate this like this and push it towards the front again. Let's just position this. And then this area obviously is gonna need to flatten a little bit this way, and this one could bring it forward. Okay, it's gonna be somewhere here. Let's check the side view. This one probably. Okay, so let's just go ahead and add let's go to the front view. Okay, let's add subdivision modifier to this. Add the subdivision. It looks this way, that's fine. Let's add edge loop to hold the shape. So add edge loop here, add another one, bring it up like so, add another one at the middle, you can scale it out. Okay, let's increase the subdivision, and then let me just shade smooth for now and tab in. Let's move the tie a little bit upwards, and this knot, let's move it to the side here to be at the center of the tie, and then we need to push this back a bit, and so it sinks in. Now I'm going to select the tie. We're going to need to squeeze this in a little bit more, and maybe add a couple more edge loops around here. That would help. And then I'm going to select this. I'm going to grab this edge loop. I'm going to slide it up a little bit more to just suggest that this is a tie. So okay, let's go to the front view, type into the X-ray mode, Alt Z. Let's have a look, and now I could select, let's tap to the object mode. I could pick this shirt, edit, and I could pick this vertex, and this one I could grab and bring it down a tiny bit, move to the side. Oh, we have some other vertices selected, so let's go back and try that again. Push this down, you can see it's moving inside the skin. Let's go to the side and push it out. Let's have a look. Okay, I think that matches a lot better now. So we have the tie in there. We could select both these two objects and join this object together. So I'll just right click after selecting these two objects, or you could just press Ctrl J and join them together. Okay, now press Ctrl A and apply all transforms. I'm gonna save. Okay, so I'm gonna go up. Okay, so that's it for the clothes. Let me check, see if we have some other stuff. Let me check the pants. Okay, all right, check this area. I think that's totally fine. That's fine, we could work with that. Let me have a look at this reference. Okay, so we could do the eyeglasses as well. So for the eyeglass, I'm just going to go to the front view, and let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in a plane. Shift A. I'm gonna bring in a plane. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna rotate it in the X and press 90. I'm gonna scale it in, grab it towards this position, go to the side view, move it to the front, and I'm gonna move to the side. I'm gonna scale this in, scale it in the Z. Okay, let's go to the, okay, we're in the front view. So now I'm gonna grab this area and push it to the side here. Okay, so it's going inside the skin. Let's move this. Let's go to the side view. Okay, and obviously, okay, let me see right here real quick. Could push this forward. Okay, I think that's too much. Somewhere around there. So go to the front view. I'm gonna grab this, extend it up to this point here. Extend it up to this point, and then I'm gonna add some couple edge loops. So I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab this, move it towards this point of the grid. Okay. Then I'm gonna add. Okay. Before I do anything, let me take a look at this. I'm gonna select this face, and I'm going to, maybe we could rotate this a little bit, and then I'm gonna extrude this face back a little bit. Select the faces, rotate it a bit, bring it to the front a little bit more. So I'm gonna add edge loop here. Okay, let's look from the front. Alright, that's okay. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, let me slide this towards this point a little bit more, and then I'm gonna grab this face and I'm gonna go to the top view, and I'm gonna extrude this face, press the E key and extrude it back, and use the grab key to grab it and extend it to where the ear is positioned. So let's have a look at this. Let me grab this. Alright, we could add some style to this eyeglass. So I can grab this edge and double tap the G key and slide it down like so. Okay, let's go to the front view, and next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add additional edge loop right here towards this direction, and then I'm gonna grab this face from the front view. Okay, I'm just gonna extrude this area like this. So we hold right click, we hold the control and right click. Let me turn on the X-ray mode so we could see it. So we can see now that we are off alignment. So I can just grab all of these and try to push it up a little bit. Let's see if it doesn't obstruct our mesh. Alright, that's cool. That's where the eyeglass should start. So it's gonna go this way and cover the eye. So let's toggle the X-ray mode. First off, let's grab this face. We go back to the front view, then toggle the X-ray mode, and then start to shape this area here. So I'm gonna hold the Control key okay. Alright, I'm gonna dissolve this edge because I just realized I'm gonna dissolve this edge from the front view. If you watch carefully, okay, you know what, let's add a mirror first, so we don't make any assumptions yet. Let's add a mirror, but before we do that, let's make sure the origin is at the center point of the grid or the object. Set origin to geometry. No, let's grab this. Okay. I'm gonna turn on snapping. Snap. Let's see, volume, increment. Let's now vertex snapping. Move this back. I'm gonna straighten this. Scale in X 0. Then I'm gonna grab this under this snapping. Let's center text. That option is not working for us. Volume, edge center. Let's try this. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, I'm just gonna grab this over in the X, position it here, and then I'm gonna set origin to 3D cursor, and then I'm gonna apply the mirror to this. So tap into the edit mode. So obviously we need to move this a little bit higher so it looks quite straight. It should be straight as we possibly can have it. So let's see. Let's just move this. As you can see, we need to move this this way. Don't worry, we will face this other area later on after we've applied the mirror. So what I'm gonna do is okay, I'm gonna go to the front view, tap into the edit mode. I'm gonna select this, I'm gonna grab it and move it in the X. This should be somewhere around here. Okay, I'm gonna grab this as well as this. Okay, I think that's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a couple edge loops. So this area of the eyeglass, you can see we should have this space here, and then it should start somewhere from here. So let's add an edge loop around this area of the eye. Okay, and let's add an additional edge loop. Let's grab this, slide it, let's slide it very close, and then let's add another edge loop towards this area here. Okay, let's try to move things a little bit. It's starting to, because they are very close to each other, that's fine. So I'm just gonna select this face here, go into the front view. I'm gonna tap into the edit to the X-ray mode. Okay, so maybe I could move this reference image now so they could work much better for us in this scenario. Tap into the edit mode, so we have this space. Okay, I'm gonna select this edge right here and slide it up until this point here. Select this edge, slide it up until this point here, and then I'm gonna add another loop right here. I'm gonna slide this and this as well. I'm gonna grab the face here, go to the front view, and then I'm gonna start to hold Ctrl and right click. Okay, I'm just gonna keep right clicking and creating the shape for the eye. Okay, so for this area here, I think we just might have to, let me have a look from the side view. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, so this face, this area here, you could push it a little bit back So I'm going to use proportional editing for that. Let's look from the top. You can see this area is coming out. So I'm going to grab some of this. Okay, and then I'm going to press the O key to turn on proportional editing, and I'm going to reduce the fall off. I'm going to push it and reduce the fall off as I go. This back. Let's make sure we select all of the vertices. Move this in the Y a bit. Deselect this, move this in the Y a bit. This in the Y. Let's deselect this. Select this. Like this in the Y as well. Just gonna select this area and rotate this a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna select this face. I'm gonna select this face. I'm gonna press the F key to fill, but we have an issue there. So what we need to do is to get rid of the faces, because we need to join, also bridge them. So let's go to delete and delete faces. So now we could select this edge, hold Alt, select that edge, hold Alt and Shift, select this edge and press the F key to fill. That isn't working for this. Let's make sure this is deleted. So let's delete this face. Delete that face. And let's see if we could find an option and bridge this. Okay, bridge edges, bridge edge loops. So let's select these edges and this, and see if we could bridge. Okay, so here is bridge edge loops, so that bridges this area. And now to shape this eyeglass even more better, I'm gonna grab this area here, go into the front view, and I'm just gonna grab this, push it down. I'm gonna grab this, shape it as best as we want it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna add subdivision to this, and I'm gonna add 2 levels of subdivision. I'm gonna shade smooth, and I'm gonna come over here, grab these edges, push it in the S direction. One more thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make sure I enable clipping. Grab it, push it this way, but somehow it's creating some hard edges there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn up the subdivisions for now, and I'm gonna push this backwards, and I'm gonna delete the face here. Okay, and I'm gonna select this 36, look from the front, turn this on, and make sure clipping is active for the mirror modifier. And then I'm gonna grab this, move it to the X, and now you can see that sharpness is not there anymore. Now we could add even more edge loop to help us out this area, and a couple more around these areas for the glasses. And one more thing we need to get better shape out of this is to add edge loops around here and edge loop around here. Let's turn this on and add edge loop around here, and edge loop around here. Okay, now I'm probably gonna apply edge loop at the middle there, because we want this to be as hard as we possibly can make it to be. So let's add that edge loop in. These areas, we could shape it a little bit better, including these areas here. Let's shape this a little bit much better than we have it now. This way together. I'll slide this down. And this area here. So I'm just making some minor adjustments, which you can as well follow along. Select this whole area here, push it back, select this area, push it back, okay, add an edge loop here as well. Be an additional loop at the back right here could help. Let's see. Okay, so I think this is coming to outside of the eye region, so we could try to move that around so it doesn't. Let's deselect this area here, see if we could move this. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna select these areas here. Be from the top view, let's push this back, maybe rotate them a bit. And oh, not bad. I think I'd like to expand the shape here. I could use this proportional editing for this. It would really be useful here. Let's see right here. have some tiny adjustments that we need to make over here. So I'm going to turn on the proportional editing once again. Could ignore that for now. And one more thing we could do to add some lens here, we could bring in a blend. So the secret is, if you don't want to have all these shape going different angles like this, what you need to do is try to make sure you fit the shape appropriately before adding the thickness and extruding, because by the time you extrude like I have done, it becomes difficult to adjust this bunch of points everywhere one by one. So I encourage you to try to do that beforehand. And looking in here, I think we could, let's see if we could add an edge loop there to tighten that area as well. So now let's just add the lens. I'm gonna scale this and rotate in the Z and press N90 to scale in 90 degrees. So I'm gonna bring this here, go to the side view, I'm gonna grab it, push it back, and let's look from the top. Probably need to rotate this way. Okay, so I could just go into the edit mode and turn off proportional editing. Let's look from the front view. I'm gonna grab this and move it in the X like so, and I'm gonna drag this and push it up like so. Alright, and I'm gonna take this and push it back towards the Y axis, and I'm gonna add an edge loop at the middle, and then I'm gonna start to push this down like this to close up the lens. And then I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna scale it in X like so. Don't worry about it, it's coming out, that's fine. Let's grab this and push it back like this. Let's check and make sure this area is not puffing out. Let's push this back like so. Then I'm just gonna add an edge loop over here, around here, and then I'm just gonna scale in X. Okay, and I could select this point and push it forward a bit to get that curvature and indication of the lens. So I could shade smooth, and now we can actually looks like the eyeglass is covered. We haven't add materials, textures to this, so when we do, it will start to look more like an eyeglass. So what I will do, I'll select this and I'm gonna mirror it, but first I'm going to the front view, toggle X-ray, and now I want my origin to be at the middle area here. So what you could do is to go to modifier, go ahead and add the mirror modifier, and come down, select this picker here, and let's use the eyeglass. Click it on the eyeglass and it mirrors to the other area. So now we've gotten the clothes done, we've gotten the shoe done, we've gotten the tie done, and the eyeglass. Now I think it's time to move on. So let's see, in the next class we would start to work on the hair of this character. So we'll start to make some hairs, some cool hair, so the character can start to look cool and nice. So, and after then we can now start adding textures. We could maybe use this kind of materials and clothing and add to the character. We could add this color for the shirt and this color for the trouser, or I might pick some other colors. It all depends, and you can as well go use your own preferred colors or materials, and you can just go and use whatever you feel will make your characters look awesome. You can use that. So it all totally depends on you. All right, so let's see. Now we haven't done the eyebrows for this character. We haven't done the eyebrows. We could quickly do that with polygon, but I'm still contemplating whether to use polygon for the eyebrow and then maybe use realistic hair for the head, or I should use realistic hair for the entire thing. I think it would be awesome to use realistic hair for the entire area there. That would be really cool to make the character look more realistic, and while having a more cartoony touch to it with the proportion body and everything. So that will be it for now, this class, and then I will hope to see you in the next class as we start to finalize and add more life to this character in terms of the skin's color, in terms of the clothes, the color of the clothes the character is wearing, the shoe colors, and every other thing that is going to make this character come alive. So I hope to see you in the next lecture, and see you there.